Your family deserves the most beautiful smile possible. At Tupelo Smiles, we use precision dentistry and advanced technology to make visiting the dentist an amazing experience. Relationship-based comprehensive care. Come discover the difference at Tupelo Smiles.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor, and another perfect day across North Mississippi. And can we get more of this forecast moving forward? Not with the heat, but at least with those dry conditions to be able to get those football games in. We know we saw Chief Meteorologist Matt Laupon over there at Northeast Mississippi Community College. Great game over there from what I hear. The crowd was making lots of noise and luckily stayed dry the entire time. Well, as we head into our Friday, we do have those limited rain chances in the forecast once again. But notice how I said limited, those chances. Not high, and will impact very few of us and hopefully stay on the drier side for a large part of us as we head into those Friday evening games. Weekend temperatures even higher, so we're climbing even more from where we sit at right now. And of course, those game day forecasts, we have high school and college, taking a look at both of those as we head further into the 10 o'clock broadcast. But we are so excited that you're joining us here in the Room to Room Weather Center, tracking what should be another great forecast here in North Mississippi. As you can see, those limited rain chances even lingering there by 11 p.m., but dwindling out as we head overnight, and by 2 a.m., drier conditions across the region. As we head further into those morning hours, of course, temperatures cooling off into the mid-60s. Plenty of sunshine for your Friday morning, so if you're looking to get out to an early start, maybe take the kids to breakfast before school, well, that's a good forecast for it, and you'll definitely have a beautiful sunrise paired with it that you get to enjoy. Wind still out of the northeast, and that's going to cycle in some of that drier feeling air, so despite it being more on the mild side in the morning hours or more on the hot side by the afternoon, at least it's not that overwhelming forecast with that humidity in our area. So Tupelo, 75 degrees, feels like 77. That dew point right around 66 degrees. So similar to what we saw today, cooling off into the mid to upper 60s once again, but a beautiful look at the night sky. Thank you to the North Mississippi Storm Chasers for that look. I apologize, I forgot that camera was down. I'll go ahead and advance this, but 8 to 10, 72 degrees right now. And Greenwood, 75 degrees, dew point around 72. That humidity value very high over there towards the Mississippi Delta. Some of those southerly winds cycling in some of that moisture, and of course that's why those temperatures are what they are. And of course it is going to definitely be amplified into our afternoon forecast on our Friday. Let's go ahead and take a look, and you might notice that there's a few showers already trying to enter into the area. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that area real quick because that's over there towards Iuka. Let me get a smaller box right there, and we can go over the last 30 minutes to see how that's gone through. I believe that's Counts and Bruton Branch. So if we go 30 minutes on that loop, you can see that we don't have very much movement with this, but as that continues to trend closer to the state line, dissipating out, and we're expecting that to be less impactful in that extended forecast. Tracking the heart of this, I think we're on the latest scan. There we go. Okay, latest scan, taking it across Highway 57. If we take that down south, we can go 10 miles an hour on it, go a little bit ahead of steam. Holiday Hills 1015, Wind Springs 1018, Caney Hollow 1019, High Point 1036, and Short by 1047. You might notice that we are just north of Iuka, so if this did hold together, don't expect it to, but if it did, maybe some showers over there towards Iuka later on this evening. You might notice as well, this does have a few lightning strikes with it, so some of those electric afternoon thunderstorms, seeing those even linger into those overnight hours. So let's take it back to our home screen, and I'm going to cycle it back over the last, let's do 3 hours on that loop. You can see those showers really moving through the Florence area. That was the most significant showers and thunderstorms, but now getting some isolated activity, trying to reach there towards Tishomingo County. So beyond that, those scattered showers and thunderstorms that we had earlier on this evening, really been a calm forecast since then. And whenever we look at those rainfall totals, I mean, it was impactful for A few of us, emphasis on a few, because this is over here just on the northwest side of Iuka along Highway 72, half of an inch. Corinth showing about a half of an inch as well. If we jump over here towards Cleveland, nearly an inch over there, and that was one of those showers, those heavy downpours that didn't have much movement with it. So a very isolated area got one decent downpour, but that decent downpour was probably 1 mile in diameter. So not exactly an impactful area. We did have that shower move right across Union County, quarter of an inch right there through the Ellistown area. Barely missed the Manor household, but what's new this summer, right? It seems like we're always on the outskirts of meaningful moisture, and hopefully that's not the case tomorrow. Hopefully we do get a few drops of rainfall, because if you're like the Manor household, you are definitely in need of that rainfall. So let's take it on the wider scale. We're going to jump out to do some surface analysis, and what we've been tracking of the past few days is this high pressure center that's over here in the Carolinas and down there towards Georgia. That's what's been providing us with a lot of this drier air, but that frontal boundary keeps a lot of those showers out there towards our northwest, over there towards South Dakota, Nebraska, Wyoming. So way far away from North Mississippi, we're just getting this little disturbance right here as those high pressure systems interact with each other, and we're right in the middle of what we call that shear axis. So more of those expected into our forecast on our Friday, but again, chances not very high. And honestly, today was more of that significant rainfall. Tomorrow is going to be very light as we track that out. So this is Friday overnight, and looking into your Friday morning, you can definitely see, Thursday overnight, looking into your Friday morning, a lot of those showers out there towards Birmingham as those isolated activity transitions a little bit more east. What we're left with here in North Mississippi at 9 a.m. is dry conditions with clear skies, so that'll be perfect for, like I said, any of those morning activities. If you want to get out and about and take advantage of that forecast, well, I mean, a good look for it. Noontime, still seeing those clear conditions stick around, and that northerly wind at least cycling in some of that drier air. How that impacts our forecast towards the afternoon is for our rain chances. And right now we have about 10% coverage, but you'll definitely want to tune into meteorologist Maggie McCauley in the morning, because she'll have the latest outlook on those rain chances and if they need to be increased or decreased or sit right where they're at. Latest model run should have a better idea on that. But what we can tell you about our Friday confidently is that it is going to be another toasty day. By the afternoon, 93 degrees by 3 p.m. Those temperatures diminishing there closer to game time, 87 degrees by 6. And I mean, as those games wrap up, 76 degrees. So it is going to be a toasty one tomorrow, and it is going to be, I'm not going to say a rainy forecast, but at least seeing a few drops there for a few of us as we enter into that afternoon forecast. Of course, tracking those out in a little bit more detail into your Friday afternoon and how that plays into our weekend forecast. Well, we'll have everything you need to know for your game days, high school and college, coming up on Mississippi Live Weather at 10 in the next 60.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
You may see a teen struggling to find his way. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we see a teen gaining the confidence and skills to land his first job. Kids today need people to see their potential and help them achieve it. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we do whatever it takes to help kids succeed. Because when we see young people, we see limitless possibilities. Do you? Join us, Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Well, welcome back into the Room to Room Weather Center here for Mississippi Live Weather at 10. We're starting with your Weather Watcher photos because this was just a breathtaking view this evening across North Mississippi. We mentioned that we had a few of those pop-up showers with those cumulus clouds interacting with that sunset. I mean, you see what I'm seeing right here, just a heavenly view. And as our meteorologist Caleb Edelblut likes to call them, glories being seen behind the clouds, just those sun rays being seen just over the cloud tops. A great sight there in Oxford. A big thank you to Cindy for submitting that. Rhonda and Tupelo captured them as well, more with those blue skies, so a little bit before sunset, but still those glories being seen in full action. I always love seeing those brighter spots on the clouds where it's a little bit more transparent, a little bit of those thinner clouds that kind of gets that interaction. So you get those darker, more dense clouds there on the outside, and of course that thinner, lighter color right there. It's just Beautiful. I can't get enough of it. Rhonda, thank you for submitting that picture. And then this was from, Matt. You know the Matt that we're talking about, Chief Meteorologist Matt Laupon over there at Northeast Mississippi Community College for their game this evening. A beautiful sight right there with clear skies seen across the region, but it wasn't clear skies completely everywhere. I mean, over the top of Boonville for sure. But if we look out here on the east side of town, this was looking towards Florence, Alabama, and you can see some of those cloud tops, that ridge pattern up top showing that this was an impressive thunderstorm. Not necessarily a severe thunderstorm, but at least a decent downpour with a good bit of lightning. So folks in Boonville got to see this sight and got to watch with the popcorn because they didn't have to worry about it themselves. It was moving south and east away from Boonville, and you just got a great view of that cloud top there. So Connor, a big thank you for our Weather Watcher submitting that photo. And Weather Watcher Matt, always a big thank you to you for submitting your Weather Watcher photos. Beautiful evening there in Caledonia. Still a mild evening across the region in Starkville. Excited about game day on Saturday against Alcorn State. The Braves going to be heading to Starkville and enjoying a warmer forecast. 72 degrees right now. Feels like 64. So that humidity, at least, that was odd. There was something right there that struck. It wasn't lightning, but that definitely looked a little unique. Sorry, my brain's always on something else. Crenshaw, 73 degrees right now, feels like 73, so that dew point still relatively high. Not cooling us off overnight, but that's again what we've been expecting the past few days. Now, if we look at Mississippi Live Weather Radar, you do notice those showers trying to move in there towards Tishomingo County. Now, do they have enough steam to make it in there? I think we could make a few drops into northern Tishomingo County, but a little bit more of that disturbance, if it were to develop a little bit more on the back end, then definitely could get a few more drops over there towards Iuka and down there towards Tishomingo. But keeping an eye on that storm, but we're not overly high on those chances for our evening plans. Again, just a dry forecast across the region. I was curious, I wanted to include this earlier because it does show our severe threats, and I can actually zoom in on this right here. So bear with me. Behind the scenes, I'm going to zoom in right there. Watch this storm that's moving through Florence. You can see that this had a little bit of a hail core to it, some of those deeper blues popping up, but not making it all the way to the surface. And that was around 8, 9 o'clock, and that was that storm that we were seeing out of Boonville. I mean, you can see where Boonville is, all the way to Florence. So it shows you how impressive those storm tops were. If we, I don't think I can do it with a loop, but I mean, that's what, about 30, 40, maybe even 50 miles from Boonville all the way to that storm. So definitely shows how intense those storm tops were and that there was a lot of lift in the atmosphere, at least for a few of those storms. So your day planner overnight, 72 degrees at 10%. That 10% is for you, Tishomingo County, but heading into the rest of our evening, those shower chances just dissipate on out. Upper 60s by 3, mid 60s towards tomorrow morning, and a beautiful start at that with plenty of clear skies across the region. If we track out that Futurecast overnight, let's go back on that. Futurecast overnight does showcase that little bit of moisture over there towards Tishomingo County. Again, even our model run not overly high on those rain chances, so just going to be a brief isolated shower at most, and that'll start to clear on out into that 3, 4, and 5 o'clock hour overnight. So 6 a.m., dry conditions. Those isolated showers transition more towards the Birmingham area, and we'll be left with a mild start here in North Mississippi. Mid 60s and seen out there on the northeast side of our area, upper 60s and a few low 70s actually there in the Mississippi Delta. But don't worry, everyone will be experiencing that heat by the afternoon. As you can see right here in our school day graphic, 67 degrees at drop-off, 85 by lunch, and 92 by the last bell. So that heat returning as you wrap up those school days, wrap up your work weeks. Hey guys, it's Friday tomorrow, and we have everything to be excited for, especially because we have football back in the forecast. I've been watching the football behind the scenes, so already getting in the mood, right? So as we take a look at the school day forecast, it is going to be sunny, but some isolated showers do move in by the afternoon. Now this is our latest model run, our HRRR model, which is one of our short-term model runs. And as you can see right here, trying to circulate in a little bit of moisture. That's been pretty repeat on that same forecast over there towards Marshall and Tippah County, watching for the potential, or sorry, say Marshall, Benton, and Tippah County, at least one shower popping up there for your mid-morning on your Friday. But heading into that mid to late afternoon, that's still our best threshold to see a few of those pop-up showers. Again, as we look towards that 3 o'clock hour, it's still showing those isolated chances developing there towards Yalobusha, Lafayette, and Noxubee County. You might see that this is very widespread, so those chances are going to be very sporadic. We're not exactly seeing a uniform development, so guaranteeing that there's a few drops in your area, it's basically an impossible task. So what we see right here is that there is potential for a few isolated showers, and if you're one of the lucky few to get them, well, of course, submit those Weather Watcher pictures. We want to see what rainfall looks like like it's been so long since we've seen it, but also just consider yourself lucky because it's not going to be something that everyone will see. And even heading into those evening plans, we're still going to see those dry conditions move back into the forecast, a lot of those showers clearing on out. But where it's dry across the region tomorrow, the story will be the heat. And we're talking low to mid to upper 90s across the region with 97 Greenwood and Greenville. Those heat indices not bumping it up too much, actually staying right around that same margin. So that drier air at least making it for a bearable forecast. Your high school game of the week forecast, you do see that 10% chance lingering. Now that's where you need to tune in tomorrow morning because that of course can and will be changed based on our game time. But right now we have those 10% chances lingering for pregame and even there by halftime. But by the final snap, much cooler conditions and much drier conditions moving in all across North Mississippi, even for the few folks that are getting a little bit of that moisture. But this is what I'm talking about. 10% is encompassing these two pop-up cells, and these are even light showers. So it's not going to be impactful to those football games. And honestly, you might feel a little sprinkle on your face, but not even think that it's anything major because it's not. And that's how light that rainfall will be. So by midnight, I mean, even those light showers clear on out and we're seeing clear and dry conditions overnight and into the start of our Saturday morning. Start of the weekend, right? It is finally here. Make sure to sleep in and take advantage of that. Now let's go ahead and get into our Saturday forecast. You can see there's a lot of rainfall towards Arkansas, but none in North Mississippi, just right outside of that boundary, and unfortunately not going to get much in regards to moisture. So yes, there's a few showers that could move in there towards DeSoto, Tate, and Tunica County, but that's the extent of it. And even there by mid to late afternoon, not tracking any rain chances for North Mississippi. So that's perfect for game times because we know 5 and 6 p.m., which we'll track here in a moment, is game times for our North Mississippi college teams. So that's going to be good if you're heading out to either of those games. High temperatures still in the low to mid 90s with those feels like values right around that same margin. So tailgating needs a water bottle handy. And please make sure to drink the right fluids and stay hydrated because we know it's going to be a fun time, but that heat can be dangerous if we just overlook it. So for those game day forecasts, Wisconsin taking on Alabama, this is going to be a breakfast tailgate because you are going to be having that happen. I mean, kickoff's at 11 a.m. So when do you have that tailgate? Unless you do post game, I guess that's possible. But either way, by the time we get towards the after game part of the forecast, that's where those temperatures really ramp up. 84 first play, 90 already by halftime, and 91 towards the final snap. Clear conditions all day long. So even if it's a post game tailgate, post game celebration tailgate, should be good for that forecast over there at Bryant-Denny. So Alcorn State taking on Mississippi State. I know those tailgates are going to be up and going in the junction, and it is going to be a toasty forecast. Temperature-wise, 87 first play, 82 by halftime, and the mid-70s by the final snap. Same thing goes for you in Starkville. Clear conditions all evening long, and Arkansas taking on Ole Miss at Vaught Hemingway there in Oxford. 86 first play, 80 by halftime, and 73 by the final snap. That is not a bad temperature forecast whatsoever. So definitely get out and enjoy that forecast. It is going to be a fun one no matter where you're at. And look, I already got my cowbell here ready for the Mississippi State game. So I know my wife is going to be happy about that. I'll be ringing that the whole way home, so you'll hear me coming. But anyway, it's going to be a great college football weekend, and hopefully all of our teams can come away with a big victory. As you can see on that extended forecast, temperatures climbing into the latter part of our weekend, mid-90s there for Sunday, upper 90s for Monday and Tuesday. So we're just continuing that gradual climb, especially with that drier air dominating our forecast. So definitely stay hydrated and, of course, stay cool and stay informed using the Mississippi Live Weather app. You can get all the latest information right here on the QR codes on your screen. Go ahead and scan that, and you'll get the latest and greatest in weather technology today. Our next broadcast happening tomorrow morning, and I told you guys you need to stay tuned because meteorologist Maggie McCauley will be having the latest information on those rain chances for your Friday afternoon, 6:30, 7, and 7:30, giving you the latest on that forecast. We'll be back for the game of the week at 5, 6, and 10. Make sure to tune in as we are live in Hatley for the very latest on the game over there. And I believe we're getting more from Coal Myers Corner as well. So plenty of stuff to look forward to here on Mississippi Live Weather. Fridays are always an adventure, and we are so excited to be able to do this with you guys. We hope you guys are enjoying it. And of course, if you have any feedback, email us info@msliveweather.com or go ahead and put it in the comments. And we read those every single time and love your guys' feedback as this is all for you guys. So have a great evening. Of course, enjoy those clear skies, those beautiful dry weather, and of course, make sure to tune in bright and early tomorrow morning.
Visualize perfection, freshly picked ingredients, tantalizing flavors, sweet and sour intertwine and dance into your glass. One-of-a-kind arrangements, hitting every note. Why wait for the weekend? It's on at the grill.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.